This council for 22 years, and I was just part of it for 10 of them. Thank you very much for what you do, and thank all of you for what you do. It takes a lot to make it happen, but I'm sure you all will. I am for this legislation. Being out in the county, you really don't find out about a lot of these things. I found out about this, and the hair stood over the back of my neck. This is for the people of Chillicothe who pay taxes to live here and expect our shelters to be for them. Anyhow, Parks, Chairman, Committee, while I was on council, for 15 to 20 years while I was on there. In 1982, the park director asked me to be a member of the park board. I would take Comstock. 1982, I was still on in 2016. To do the math, that's 34 years. I'm here today in the same capacity I was here for all 34 years associated with Parks and Rec. Members of council, stick to your guns. Pass this legislation tonight. The good people of this community expect you to do so. Thank you very much. I appreciate everything you all do.
Thank you.
And I strongly encourage the council to vote yes tonight to add in chapter 555 to the codified ordinances of Chillicothe, Ohio. I want to express my thanks to the council, President Shoemaker, and Mr. Bennett's committee for airing out this ordinance extensively and to give it all the time that you have. Since 2022, we've been dealing with this issue, and we're still, I think everyone in the room agrees that the issues with homeless camping are getting worse and not better. The Supreme Court in 2024 found it lawful for cities, communities to govern these kinds of actions, so that is not a problem anymore. I would ask those who oppose the legislation politely and not rhetorically that you've read the legislation. Have you read the ordinance that's being offered? If this fails to pass, the drug addicted and chronic homeless could miss out on receiving services that would be presented to them by trained law enforcement and offered dozens of solutions to their problems from all the churches, all the communities, all the different organizations that are part of this community who care about them. If we don't pass this, this may be their last chance to receive these kind of services. If we continue to go on without any kind of legislation, where is this going to end? In February of this year, there were 2 people who were cited, arrested, removed for camping inside our post office in downtown Chillicothe. That was February of this year. There's a case number, if you don't believe me. If your family members, your brothers, your sisters, your sons, your daughter, your mom, dad, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, whoever is on the verge of homelessness, then for heaven's sakes, bug up and take them into your house. Take them in. This ordinance doesn't prevent you from doing that. If you oppose this ordinance, try letting people camp on your property, on your farm, on your church lawn, and see how it goes. When this ordinance passes, it will not stop anybody from feeding the homeless. Give to one of these churches or one of these organizations, one of these non-governmental organizations, give them your money, or better yet, give them your time to feed these people. Ross County Community Action, in my opinion, is doing an incredible job, and they could use your time and your money. If this ordinance does pass, it will not stop anybody from cleaning up the areas that have become so polluted and so dangerous and so filthy. Join the Continuum of Care organization or participate in the Earth Day Festival cleanup that we have every year. This ordinance doesn't stop anybody from cleaning up these camps. Whether you employ the homeless to do it or do it yourself out of your heart, this ordinance doesn't stop you from doing it. A compassionate and lawful city does not let or enable people to sleep on the ground. This ordinance includes answers to all the what ifs, the ands, and the buts with this issue. My gratitude to all those involved in forging this ordinance, and my gratitude to law enforcement for bringing this back to light, and my gratitude to those who put their time and effort and money and professions towards assisting the homeless. I hope it passes.
I'm a transplant to Chillicothe, and my family and I moved here from South Dakota by way of Minnesota and Florida. So we have had the opportunity to live in many different states where we have seen many different solutions for this. I was reading through 555, and I'd like to kind of back up what he said. In reading through it, this is a camping ordinance, and it needs to be read as such, and it needs to be addressed as such. Yes, it highlights the fact that we have a homelessness problem and we have a drug addiction problem. I can speak from my own experience because a lot of people who come up here, the opposing side doesn't think they understand. I've been homeless. I've been trafficked. I have lived my life having to go from one couch to another couch, wondering if I'm going to have a place to live, but never once was I ever allowed to impede on anyone else's life, their livelihood. I would have to pick up after myself, after my children, after anybody else. And what we're saying when we say no to 555 is that any other law-abiding citizen and taxpayer is going to have to foot the bill for somebody else. Yes, they might be struggling, and I understand that. I come from a place of being compassionate to that. But I also know that in my backyard, when we moved here, we had 2 homeless camps that were there. And now I can't let my children go and play in their backyard without wondering if there's someone camping back there doing something that, if my children are left alone in their backyard, are they going to be fine? Are they going to find somebody else's feces somewhere? Are they going to find any other paraphernalia from drugs? We moved to Chillicothe because we love this town. We've embedded ourselves in this town with 2 different businesses, with our families, bringing people here because we love it so much. And so I would just request that you please pass this, not just because it can help the homeless that need it, but because as it is written, it is a camping ordinance. We are a UNESCO World Heritage. We have people who will be coming here from other countries and other places. And if we don't set a standard for our own people, there is no other standard that anybody else who's coming into this town will have to follow. So I thank you and I commend you because there is so much bullying that has taken place. And each and every one of you I know have thoughtfully considered this and taken on the burden that many other people are not willing to. So thank you.
I want to commend all of you for all your work that you have done on council thus far. The new, the outgoing, the veterans. I'm very well aware of how difficult that job can be at times. I also want to commend those who wrote this legislation, wrote this ordinance. As Mr. Ford mentioned, it was so beautifully written to help folks who need that help. He mentioned the continuum of care, which I have been a part of in the past and continue to donate toward. Being able to reach out to these folks, to have those extra bodies reaching out to these people with this ordinance, I think is just absolutely incredible. I urge you to vote yes to it. Everything that's written into it is, I can't emphasize enough. It is beautifully written, and I think it is a fantastic help for our city to help, as some folks had mentioned, help the taxpayers be able to utilize what they paid for, but also, again, to help those who need help. And I would urge you to vote in support of this item. Thank you.
A couple years ago, I was on that side. Same issue was up. And I have a couple observations and concerns. Number one, I'm in support of passing Chapter 555. During that time I was on council and this issue was brought up, there was a couple of observations that really concerned me. Number one, in all of the opposition of this ordinance at the time, not one positive thing was said towards our police officers. I remember that distinctly because it really bothered me. I see a couple in the back in uniform. I know a couple others that are not in uniform. Not only was nothing kind said, many unkind things were said. In other words, our police officers were characterized that every intention they had was nefarious. They were going to lock everybody up. They have hatred towards homeless people. I thought that was disgusting myself. Okay? Thank you, officers, for what you do. You're greatly appreciated. What bothers me more than anything is the negative energy in this room. Is there a happy medium somewhere? Is there any equity that our city should have in upholding law and order? According to the liberal agenda that we all see, let's not kid ourselves and be intellectually dishonest. From the federal, state, and local level, be proud of it if you're going to own it. Okay? Lawlessness, open borders. People are laughing. How can you laugh at that? Zero.
Don't speak for us.
Zero intellectual honesty.
Speak for
We
yourself.
live in the information age. I'm going to
Allow him to finish, please.
If you're proud of your agenda, at least own it. You act as if we don't live in the information age. We constantly are watching every city, every protest all around the country. And it's hatred cast towards us. What I have no respect for was when somebody projects a lie. You don't like it when somebody projects a lie towards you. I don't like it when somebody projects a lie that conservatives are filled with hate. That's the opposite. We can see what the truth is. So thank you for your service. The majority, in my opinion, of our citizens want this passed. Thank you again.